All right, hey guys, here we are, hole number 8. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up my cat bag here. Similarly, you may want to go dead ball. And what I'll typically try to do is land a little bit flatter over here with some curl. What you'll typically want to do if you're a Thor's Hammer player is a hook slice. So you'll essentially want to aim kind of over here and go hook slice. I'm not going to do that shot. I probably should, to be honest with you. I should probably just back out here. Oh, man. Watch this be in the rough. Ooh. So definitely barely hanging on. Power 5 gear ball, something of that could also be a nice ball here. Season 11. So season 11 jewel ball. I think it's season 11. That might be wrong. So jewel ball is kind of what I'm going for. If you use a jewel ball, could have a lot of value to getting the ball because I'll be able to get it up here as opposed to I'm back here. You can get it just a little bit farther. As I mentioned, one of the things that you can do is you could hook slice a Thor's hammer. Can also be kind of a somewhat useful tool. You can use straight topspin, and since it doesn't have a lot of curl, it doesn't really get overly curled. So if you land your first hop towards the right half of this fairway, kind of over here instead of over here, you can go full hook slice and it just kind of winds up kind of more centered into the fairway if you do it right. Now you'll have to make sure that that second bounce or that first bounce is over in this territory if you do it, but it does have some good rewards to do that. You can see opponent got up a little bit farther. I should be able to kind of outdrive myself using a hook slice method. So that would be kind of one of the advantages to doing that. Now, what I would need to do here is essentially kind of kill this and maybe just barely creep it on. What I'm going to do instead, you know what? I might not have the thorn set up on this. So I guess we'll have to just roll with. So one of the things that you'll see is I try to stay away from the edge intentionally. So I'm thinking 7 rings, somewhere in here. So we're not going to try to get this up here as far as possible. So what I try to do is I try to stay a little bit back, kind of like 10 yards from this edge or so. That's, a little bit more. But what it does is it lets me get to the max club. So you can see opponents actually in range. So that's one of the main reasons that you may want to go Thor 7, for example, and hook slice with full topspin is you can probably get the ball out there a little bit farther. You can see he used a werewolf, which is essentially what I was mentioning with the jewel ball. So that's why he can get it out there so far and why you would want to try to replicate that as well. But if you do it the hook slice method, you should be able to create a little bit more momentum, especially with Thor's hammer. It's a way to, you could probably get it up to where my opponent did with the Apocalypse with the Thor's hammer, because it creates kind of extra momentum when you have that hook slice on there. It'll roll out farther. Plus, Thor 7 has more topspin anyway. Now, here's what, of course, I'm 1 yard too close. Why wouldn't I be? This entire guide has just been one nightmare after the next. So that appears to be maybe about 7 rings. Is that too much? Yes. So I'm about a ring long here. We're going to try to come in here, and we're going to, I guess, short hit it. So that's about 6 rings. As I mentioned, we're going to just need to barely short hit this as well. And it's still overcorrected. But that's what I'll essentially try to do, is I'll try to dial in that dunk. Thor's that right at the min line there probably plays maybe 2.25 per ring. So five, you know, I probably only needed 5 rings there, maybe even 4.75, right at the min line, right at the actual line. As you start to come away and drive it just a little bit shorter, you'll see that you know, you do have a good attempt at that. So you may want to start thinking about that. It's better to do with the Thor's hammer or the thorn, sorry, because you'll be able to backspin it and keep it onto the green in the event that you miss. And in the event that you don't want to go for the dunk, you could essentially still go for the backspin thorn shot. So it does give you that flexibility. But as you can see, I was, you know, 1 or 2 yards too close there, unfortunately. And I also ended up over adjusting my rings. I only needed 5 there. Just having some math errors in my head, I guess. And I was trying to go, you know, 6, 7. Well, I didn't want to go 7. I was just kind of forced to go 7 because I couldn't really get the ball guide where it needed to be. But you could see, you know, at that min line with the uphill nature there, it's going to kind of underplay, but it's something that you can work on getting dialed. And in the event that you can't get it out to where, you know, the fellow competitors can, there's still an alternate way to get birdie. And that's the way that, you know, I've done it many times in tour play, is with that dunk. So keep that tip in mind. Good luck, and I'll see you guys on 9.